let me try to win you over here on the Louisville Cardinals. Just hear me out. Jeff Brohm is easily, one of the most underrated coaches in America. Don't just look at what he's done at Louisville. Year one, getting to the ACC championship game. That was 2 years ago. And then year two, having another good season. They weren't exceptional, but they were good. Look at what happened to the place he left. The structure of the Big Ten Conference changed considerably, so Purdue didn't have a soft backdoor way into the Big Ten championship game. But do you remember that not long ago, Michigan was matching up with Purdue in the Big Ten championship game? What's gone on at Purdue since Jeff Brohm left? Let me put my thinking cap on. Nick Arvin of Locked On Boilermakers, cover your ears for this part. Oh, right. 4-8, 1-11. Barry Odom is there now with over 50 new players on the roster this year because it's a complete and total teardown and rebuild. So he leaves, that program goes downhill really quickly, proving that, well, he wanted a place that isn't very easy to win. Yeah, he did. Then he went to Louisville and he won. And his quarterback production has been really good the whole time that he's been there. They bring in Miller Moss from USC, who I've been a fan of, not just because he was on this program in the offseason, but predating that, I never felt like he was the problem at USC. He's going from one great quarterback coach in Lincoln Riley to another great quarterback coach in Jeff Brohm, who, when you look at the numbers he put up with Tyler Shuck, he just got Tyler Shuck drafted in, what was it, the third round? A couple of years ago when Shuck was at Texas Tech, he was winning games. He wasn't going to be an NFL draft pick. Well, Jeff Brohm got him there. So I think Miller Moss, who is mobile enough, who's got a good arm, and can make some really high-level throws, I think he can absolutely thrive in Louisville's system. They've got 58% of their production returning from a season ago. Not incredible, but not bad. They've got a top 35 transfer portal class. Not incredible, but not bad either. Solid across the board. So I like your quarterback. I like your coach. Your roster should be solid. Oh, by the way, the schedule is insanely favorable. So let's get into it. I have them going 10-2. And I'll be honest with you. I'm such a fan of Jeff Brohm and the Cardinals. My first run through of the schedule, I had them 11-1, and I said, okay, pump the brakes. Do I need to pump the brakes? No. Did I feel like I should? Yeah, I did. So I pumped them slightly. But they start with Eastern Kentucky, James Madison, and Bowling Green. Not the non-conference slate that I want teams to play. You've got an FCS, a group of 5, and a second group of 5. James Madison's a higher level G5 than most. I would like to see them that's the early portion of the schedule. They have Kentucky at the back end of their schedule. So at least there's that. But still, 9 Power 4 games on the slate. I'd like to see that be 10 for everyone. But is Kentucky good? No, they're better in Kentucky. They're going to win. They start ACC play at Pitt. Let me come back to that game. Virginia at Miami. I think that's 2 wins. They could very easily lose to Miami. It's not going to be an easy game. Miami is not notorious for being the most brutal place to go and play for visiting teams. I like what Mario Cristobal's done. I like Miami. I like Louisville a pretty good amount. So right now I'm taking Louisville. That's kind of a toss-up sort of game. They come back home against Boston College. Let me come back to that game too. At Virginia Tech, a team I like, but not as much as Louisville. I'll take the Cardinals there. Cal at home, cross-country trip. That's tough. Louisville's a better team with more continuity. That's a win. Clemson at home. At home. At home. They close the season with a game against Kentucky. They're going to win that. I think between Clemson and SMU, you're going to see a split by the Louisville Cardinals here. 2 teams that were in the playoff last year that have legitimate playoff aspirations this year. I'm higher on Clemson than I am on SMU. I'm going to reserve the right to wait and see on which game I like more. On paper, though, I think they win at home against Clemson and lose at SMU. in the classic emotional letdown spot. Remember, it was the Louisville Cardinals last year that went into Death Valley against the team that went on to win the conference championship and absolutely blew the doors off of the Tigers. Now, they didn't sustain that play for every single week throughout the season, but that is what I'm talking about when I tell you Jeff Brohm is a really good head coach. So I think it's 2 years in a row against Clemson, classic emotional letdown spot the following week against a good SMU team. Now, let me come back to those games I said I'd like to come back to. When I did the run-through, I thought, I think they're going to win at Miami. And I had to sit with that for am I comfortable with it? Yeah, I am. So then I go through the rest of the schedule. Well, I think they're splitting with last year's playoff teams. So does that really leave me at 11-1 for the Louisville Cardinals? Hey, I've seen crazier things happen in college football. Arizona State won the Big 12 last year, for goodness sake. And that'd be a great way for the ACC to get 2 teams into the college football playoff. Have Louisville in there at 11-1. Maybe they don't win it. Maybe they lose to a 10-2 team. Well, a pair of 11-2s at the Power 4 level should get you into the playoff no matter what. So the games that I came back to as slip-up potential were the ACC opener at Pitt. Eli Holstein's back for the Panthers, who last year started 7-0 and stumbled in the second half. But Pat Narduzzi's solid. You can get a good crowd out there. Holstein is a good quarterback. Not incompetent. That's not going to be an easy game. And the Boston College game. Now, the Boston College game probably doesn't raise a lot of red flags in Louisville country. It probably doesn't garner a whole heck of a lot of attention. Just ponder this. I've started to look at these schedules a little bit like NCAA tournament resumes. When you fill out, not resumes, sections of the bracket. When you fill out that bracket, you go through and you know in your head, I've got to pick a certain number of double-digit seeds. I do this every year with a friend of mine. Got to pick at least 112. Got to split the 11 and the 6 seed games. Should probably have a double-digit seed here. The same thing applies, just not as regulated and structured to college football. There are upsets throughout the season that if you'd predicted going into the year, you would have been called crazy, insane, non-knower of ball, etc., etc. And so I got to thinking about those 2 games. Because Bill O'Brien is going into year 2 as a head coach at Boston College. I've seen Bill O'Brien coach before. He's pretty solid. They didn't like Thomas Castellanos. He's at Florida State now. I'm just saying. That could be a trip-up spot. At Virginia Tech could be a trip-up spot. Pitt could be a trip-up spot on the road. I think between those games, I think they'll win at home against Virginia. I don't think that'll be as much of a problem. But if they don't win at Miami, I'd like to think they have the intestinal fortitude to win the other games I'm talking about here. But at Pitt, at Virginia Tech, Boston College at home. Just keep a weather eye out there. Or just keep an eye on them going. If they go 11-1, I'll be so happy. So unbelievably happy. So, Louisville, I'm pulling for you.